Hi, welcome to an absolutely crazy episode of TFT Hyperroll, where I show you some of the builds I'm using or things I'm trying to do, some tips and tricks to hopefully help you on this crazy climb to hyper. This game, probably like most of the games we play, started off really non-committal. It gave me a 3-cost Nidalee, but not a lot of Dawnbringers or Skirmishers to back it up, and the items just weren't matching anything. However, I did have a Vladimir, and I saw the opportunity to do something I had wanted to try, which is last season I created a build I called the Unkillable Vampire, where I stacked some Archdemon staffs onto Vladimir so he just kept gaining health until he was completely unkillable. You can't do that this season because there isn't an item that will allow you to gain health with each cast, so I had to come at it from a different angle. In this case, I decided I wanted to try and do Vladimir with knights, so that he was both blocking damage with the knight buff and healing himself back with his Archangel Staff that I was hoping to be able to do a few of. Now, while we're watching these early round fights, let me take a moment to tell you what this channel is all about, and I apologize to the regular viewers who are probably getting sick of hearing me say this, but to people new here, they need to hear it. The channel is called Mission4Tution, and it was created to help raise money for our son's middle and high school tuition because he has to go to a special school that is insanely expensive. And we make money from the ad revenue. We do not have a donation link. We don't ask for donations. However, if you can put a like on this video, that helps the YouTube algorithm spread it to more people, so more people get to watch it, so it gets more ads and generates more revenue for tuition. Now, back to the match. I get a chance to get another tier, which means maybe another Archangel Staff if I can get another needlessly large rod. I'm going to be rolling early and often because I am looking for as many Vladimirs as possible, and Vladimir's a 1-cost. I also move Vladimir back because he's going to be my main damage here, and he has a 2-hex range, so he doesn't need to be in the front line at this point. I can let the knights absorb most of the damage, and then let Vlad do a lot of damage as he increases his AP with each individual cast, which means he's going to be gaining strength as the match goes on. Now, obviously, it's not foolproof at this point, but I think a gold Vlad with enough items will really work out, especially if I can find renewers, because renewers will help him heal additional health as he goes along. So he's going to be now not only gaining AP with each cast, he's also going to be consistently regaining mana and health. You'll see it work out here as he's able to shrug off a lot of the damage and hold on, continually healing as he goes. This way his casts bring him back to full health, allow him to continue to heal and withstand the attacks of that other Vladimir who doesn't have a staff on him. For Radiant items, I actually couldn't have asked for a better item for what I want. This gives him 1800 additional health, and he'll be continually regenerating 1% health throughout the match. This is going to absolutely count on him getting to gold, but I have the exact build I dreamed about when I first thought about doing this when I saw Vlad and the early Archangel Staff. We're still rolling as much and as often as possible because we need to get him up to 3 stars. It will hold for now, will be decent in the mid game, especially with Rakan just healing. And watch how this works. Rakan heals them, keeps them alive, and Vladimir, as he increases AP, is able to just take the damage and heal himself back up, shrugging off pretty much anything they can throw at him. I got lucky and picked up a spatula in the NPC round, which made the choice of Tear of the Goddess really easy because that will create a renewer. And so now I have the opportunity to go up to 6 renewers, which would give Vladimir absolute maximum healing throughout the entire match. Rolling all my gold, looking for more Vladimirs, I did manage to find a 2-star Nautilus and a silver Soraka. And you can see it's helping immediately as the Knight buff and the Renewer buff are just doing work. Notice how Galio down at the bottom with the Renewer buff I put on him is just able to stand there against a Nocturne and take it for a long time while Vladimir has built up enough strength to ultimately take it down. With the match getting later and chances of rolling a 1 cost dropping, I decide to take the Nico's help here so that I just now need one more Vlad to bring him up to gold. Between the damage being blocked by the night buffs and even the just 3 renewers, you can see how hard it is to take this team down, especially the Vladimir, who's gaining an additional 1% health regeneration on top of everything because of that Radiant Warmogs that is giving him an additional 1% maximum health healing, which is increased by the 1800 that he gets from the armor itself. The choice of tier here is me thinking about endgame. This is the item I'm going to want to put onto Heimerdinger when I get him. And at this point, I have 2 slots left to fill, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to pick up the last 2 renewers, which are Ivern and Heimerdinger. The switch from Poppy to Garen is a no-brainer for 2 reasons. Number 1, he's a stronger unit. Number 2, he's going to trigger the Dawnbringer buff for both himself and Soraka, which will give them more healing on top of the healing they already have as part of their kit. You can see, again, it helps immensely here. The Renewer buff is doing its job, and Vladimir is just nearly impossible to take down, even with a really strong Nidalee. And now with just a 19% chance of rolling that 1, I get the Vlad I've been looking for, and boom, gold, 3-star Vlad, and we are off to the races. And I gotta be honest, at this point in the match, I'm thinking no one is getting through this. There's just no path, because I now have the 4 renewers, I have the 4 knights, I have the Dawnbringers. How can someone get through to kill my Vladimir, who's losing a lot more health than... Okay, I need to shift tactics a little bit. Now, it's definitely not a moment to panic, but it is a moment to say, what would be a better possibility? And in this case, replacing Galio as the renewer with Garen makes more sense, because Garen is also a Dawnbringer, so he's going to get some healing from the Dawnbringer buff. So to have him as, at now, the 5th renewer, he'll be constantly regaining health, also gaining mana, plus, hey, he's a legendary 5-cost unit. He's really strong. And the dividends pay off immediately as this Kayle unleashes her full fury onto Vladimir and Garen, but notice they're able to stand in for a long time until ultimately Vladimir quiets her down and brings the situation back to normal. We make it into the top 4, but I'd really like to win. And I'm a little concerned by what just happened in the last match. Even though we ended up winning, I feel like the team is vulnerable if that Kayle gets to 2 stars, because it's going to then become that much stronger. So I decide to take the Spear of Sojin that I was saving for Heimer and put it onto Garen, just so that he can do more damage and cast more often. But ultimately, this is the Vladimir show, and this entire game is going to live and die on whether Vladimir can absorb absolutely tons of damage, and being able to stand and take a full Cullen from Lucian and still put him down tells me I'm on the right track here. Our main goal is to find a Heimer, but we buy the Volibear and the Teemo, because number 1, Volibear will fit into any build, and number 2, Teemo at 14 health is only going to bring us down to 13, which still gives us 3 lives even when we're losing 6 health per. We're not buying Teemo here because that would knock us to 12, which would mean 2 hits and we're out, but we're searching for Heimer so we can get to that 6th renewer, or of course a 2-star Garen if it wants to give it to us. Volibear got to spend 1 time in, then it's time to put in Heimer and make use of the Reforger. Want to see if we can get some better Heimer items, but no, it just gives us some tank items which we can throw onto Galio, and that will work out nicely. This was the team that beat us before, and I'm hoping that having that 6th renewer will give us the chance to hold on, because this team can put out a ton of damage with Cannoneers and Sentinels. You can see that Garen is absolutely tearing things up, ulting more often and healing more health and leading the damage charts. It's time to check in and notice that that person did 2-star their Kayle, so they are going to be the one that I know I'm going to have to get through. With 6 redeemed, 3 ironclad, and a knight bonus, this team is going to be incredibly tanky and difficult, which is going to allow that Kayle to do a ton of damage. Kayle will also ascend very quickly with that Rage Blade, even though Thresh was able to at least temporarily stun her. And you can see, once she reaches full ascension, she's going to just start pouring out the damage and taking my units out. I'm hoping that Vladimir can hold up, but not this time. And as the person in third went out to one of our ghosts, it comes down to me versus essentially what is going to be Kayle. They've also 2-starred their Vel'Koz in the meantime, making their team even stronger than it was. I'm hoping my repositioning has helped and or will allow my Vladimir even more time to pick up additional AP and thus do more damage. But I know once Kayle reaches full ascension, it's going to be hard. I was counting on Garen to be in the front, but ultimately Vladimir does have enough power to finish it off, and it is a GG to everyone and just a crazy end to a crazy game. Hope you enjoyed the video and have an absolutely awesome day.